Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Tvameva Mata Cha Pitattvameva Tvameva Bandhusya Sakhatvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Amadeva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Gurudeva Deva. Hari Om. We are doing the what is self-realization and what exactly is involved. And we established that I am a self-existent, self-conscious entity. I am Sat and Chit, but I do not know that I am infinite. So how does my ignorance about myself completely is established by the very fact that I am running after happiness by gaining this object, that object, that object. And I cannot stop running after objects until I am full. That means I don't have anything else I need. Everything else I have. That means I am completely full. That means I am infinite. That means nothing can be added. Then only I will stop going after objects. But I can never become infinite by any process. Therefore, we have a big problem. As we discussed, I cannot stop trying to become infinite, and I can never become infinite because finite cannot become infinite. So only solution to this problem is, unless I am already infinite, then I don't go after any more. That means I am full by myself. That is established. That means I am no more longing for or does not depend on anything other than myself for my happiness. So who is a realized person or who is self-realized? Number one, who does not have any more ignorance. And what is ignorance I have? Right now the ignorance is I am Sat and I am Chit, I know, but I am not Ananda. So how does that I am not infinite? Ananda means infinite. Yes. How does that I am not infinite manifests? It manifests as I am finite. So one who does not know that I am infinite, that ignorance of my own self, trickles down next level, is taking myself as I am finite. That's the second step. The first step is I do not know myself completely. I know partially. I know I exist. I know I am conscious. We gave an example of pitch dark room. We should remember that. So I am self-existing, self-conscious entity that I know. But at the same time, I don't know that I am infinite. Therefore, lack of knowledge that Aham Brahmasmi, that I am infinite, that is, I am infinite. Aham Brahmasmi means I am infinite. Lack of that knowledge propels me to take myself as I am finite. Is it clear? I am by nature is infinite, but since I do not know that I am infinite, I am taking myself as a finite as a consequence of the ignorance about myself, complete ignorance of my full nature. Clear? So not only I am ignorant, now the effect of ignorance are being felt as that I am finite. How does it manifest? I am finite what? Because I am not really finite, but when I take myself I am finite, that because I don't know infinite, the second level is I am taking myself as a finite. A finite of what? I don't take myself, I am a chair, I am a desk, because they are all finite. I take myself as I am this body, this mind and this intellect. So the third step in the process is not knowing myself completely, because I know partially, that's more dangerous, and partial ignorance of mind, because 2/3, 3 aspects, Sat, Chit, Ananda, I know 2 aspects. I don't know only the third aspect, and because of that ignorance, I am taking myself as I am finite, and that finite is not any finite. I am finite is this body, this mind, and this intellect. Clear? So when I take I am this body, this mind, and this intellect, which is this, therefore I am this. That's how we started the whole talk series. I am this is a confusion. Confusion is coming because I am a subject and this is an object. That confusion of identification of the subject with an object, this, arising because of the fundamental problem is I do not know myself. That means I do not know that I am infinite. This is the problem. So I am still looking for infiniteness in that my nature by solving a problem by acquiring this, acquiring that, because I take myself, I am what I am not as I am. So that's a fundamental statement that we made earlier, and now everything has to fit in properly, has to be logical enough to know that what we are saying has to be true. It's nothing to do with the scriptures right now until we have not brought scripture yet. Scripture only says you are infinite. But my searching for things also proves that I need to be infinite for me to stop searching. That is logical, because even though I may have billions and billions, I still look for some more, because I can only become infinite by having everything in the world, everything in the universe, the whole universe itself. Then only I will stop searching, because that's a logical extrapolation of what's happening from what we see. Now, first step is that I am infinite. Problem is I don't know that I am infinite. Therefore, third step is I take myself, I am a finite. And that finite is this body, this mind, and this intellect. And body, mind, and intellect are finite. I am by nature infinite. Therefore, I don't like the limitations of the body, mind, and intellect, and I try to solve the problem by all the process that we discussed. Whole life is trying to become infinite using body, mind, intellect, because I am taking body, mind, intellect as me, as I am. They are my body, my intellect, but they are finite. Identification that I am this body, I am this mind, I am the intellect, therefore I am limited. So that is a conclusion I get because of the fundamental ignorance of not knowing myself and taking a finite as I am, and that finite is nothing but this body, mind, intellect. Therefore I am this body, mind, intellect. If the body is born, I am born. Body dies, I die. If the mind is agitated, I am agitated. If my intellect cannot think, I say I cannot think. If my intellect understood, say I understood. All this we are familiar, but we don't analyze it because we take it for granted. I am is same as intellect, I am same as the body, and I am same as the mind. So what is happiness? If you go into Google, they will tell you different versions of happiness. Happiness is a state of mind. Happiness is of this, happiness is that. Happiness is getting what you want. Dream high, get high, be happy. All this paraphernalia is there. So what is happiness? Happiness is I am. My true nature is I am. So the other philosophers say, I think, therefore I am. No, I am, and therefore I can think also. Some people refuse to think also, but still they are there. So thinking is only a capacity of my mind. We'll come back to that. So therefore, if you look at who is a jiva, who is an individual, who needs to realize, he is the one who needs to realize himself, is the one who mistakes himself what he is not as he is. And who is that? It's me. So I'm not talking about somebody else. I'm not worried about anybody else because I do not know myself. If I don't know myself, what am I going to help other people? They are equally confused. So I cannot solve other people's problem because this is a fundamental problem. So the problem is the fundamental because this is my ignorance of myself. I'm trying to solve this problem by various other ways. So all other problems come into picture only because I do not know that I am Brahman. What happens if I know I am Brahman? What happens? So I don't have any problem. What do you mean I don't have a problem? I may know that I am Brahman, but I still have to take care of my child, my wife, my this, my health. All those gada is there. That means I am still taking myself, I am this. Therefore, I need to solve the problem of this. If I am Brahman, that means I am infinite. That should be the understanding. With the understanding, I can take the role of a finite. That is a different story now. With the understanding, we give an example of a stage where I can be on this stage as an actor playing different roles. I can be a king, I can be a beggar, I can be an enemy, I can be a friend, I can be this, I can be that. That's a drama. Drama is for fun. Everybody is enjoying. I enjoy playing it, and afterwards I forget the whole script and I am back again as an actor and getting paid for whatever I did, right? So while acting, I act as though I am a beggar, as though I am a king, as though I am a servant, as though. If I am a sick person in the drama, I have to act like a sick person in the drama. I am dying in the scene, I have to act as though I am a dying person in the drama. I am being stabbed, kicked, I should act as though being stabbed and kicked also. I am the one who kicks, has to act like a one who kicks. Depends on the script. Then only people will enjoy. It has to be natural enough that people think that's real, even though they know that it's not real. The fellow who is acting also knows that it's not real. The role he's playing is not real. So knowing that I am Brahman, I can take the role of this body, this mind, or this intellect, or this individual, still play the role with the knowledge that I am Brahman. Because Brahman doesn't play. Why? Because it's Brahman. So from the infinite point, there is no play, nothing of the sort. Only when I come down to the level of a drama, where in the stage of life, then there is a drama going on. From the point of absolute, no drama. Only from the point of relative, I am related to this, I am related to that, I am related to the world, I am a citizen, I am a husband, I am a wife, I am this, I am that, because this keeps changing with the roles. Roles will have a problem according to the script. Just because I know that I am a realized person, nothing will change. And something may change, thinking that other people think that, hey, he is a realized person, let's deal with properly. That's a different story. But that's a new script being formed, because this is a dynamic script. Because as we play, the script is changing, because any time the future is nothing but what I do now. So that's Swami Chinmayananda puts in a very beautifully. So what I have is prarabdha, and what I do with what I have is called purushartha. Means what I am doing right now, I have choice in action. That's what it is. Krishna talks about karmanyeva adhikaraste. You have a choice in the present action. So do it properly, so that the result that is going to come, the future prarabdha, is nothing but the past prarabdha modified by present action. Therefore, I have a free will to act now. So, who is a realized person all the way coming here, says, one, I can take the role of a finite person as long as this body, mind, intellect is there. That means as long as I am in the stage of life where I have to play different roles with the world. That includes everybody, including objects, plus the people or living things and everything else. I will be playing the drama of life in the stage because I am in the stage, but my truth understanding is Aham Brahmasmi, where there is no drama at all. Because in infinite, there cannot be any finites. That's a law. Finite, infinite cannot be plus minus, plus of this, plus of that is finite. So infinite cannot be divided. There cannot be divisions of anything in infinite. This is where one has to be very careful in understanding and analyzing which scripture is right, what scripture is wrong, what is the exact truth. So if there is a Brahman and infinite, and if I am that infinite, then there cannot be any divisions of any kind. So that's called in Sanskrit Sajati, Vijati, Swagata, Bedha, Rahitam. That means absence of Sajati, of the same species. That means within the tree, this tree is different from that tree, is different from that tree. So those called Sajati difference. Mango tree is different from the lemon tree or coconut tree and so on. That's called Sajati Bedham. Vijati is different jatis, that is, trees are different from plants, the land, and land is different from this and so on. There are different types of species. Chairs are different from tables are different from some other the instruments and so on. Those are called Vijati. And Swagata Veda means internal differences. In the same tree, the leaves are different, the fruit is different, the roots are different, the stem is different. So there is internal differences in same one. That's called Swagata Veda. And in Brahman infinite, there cannot be any differences of any kind. That's the logic. Because it's infinite. If there is a division, then division in separateness, that means I am dividing the infinite. Infinite cannot be divided. That's illogical from the mathematics also. So logically, if I say the Brahman is infinite and I am the Brahman, if the scripture says, then there cannot be any differences of any kind in Brahman. Even if Brahman is somewhere else also, I cannot have any difference of any kind. So this has to be used to differentiate what is the philosophy that points out to this, that alone should be correct. Because logic says so. If the logically they says, yes, Brahman is infinite, but in the Brahman there are internal differences, that's what Bhagavan Ramanuja talks about in the Visishta Advaita. In the Visishta Advaita, Brahman is infinite. He accepts that. But within that infinite, he has the divisions, the internal divisions are there. So for him, there is no Sajati, Vijati Veda, but there are Swagata Vedas, internal differences. And in the Brahman, there are Chit and Achit, two differences of that. There are conscious entities and unconscious entities. The whole world, Jagat, is unconscious entity. That's a part of the Brahman. And Chit is conscious entity. And in the Chit, there are many divisions because each jiva is different and they are part of the totality. So Brahman can be divided into many infinite number of jivas and the Jagat. And he is the ruler, controller, and all these subsequent philosophical positions have to come in to support this view that Brahman infinite has internal divisions. Sir, it is illogical. He says, you are applying a logic that is applicable only in the transactional world. The truth is beyond logic, therefore you cannot use your logic there. That's how they rule out the statement that in the infinite there can be divisions, and that's because scripture says so. Does the scripture say so? That's how interpretation is. Aham Brahmasmi, Akhandam. Akhandam means infinite, no khandam, no divisions, and therefore, but there is that what you call the internal differences are accepted according to part of the scripturals that are reference to transactional world. So without going into all the complications, from my point or from our point, Aham Brahmasmi means I am infinite only logically, because I won't stop becoming happy unless I am limitless. So any limitations in terms of space-wise, time-wise or object-wise cannot be a freedom from limitations called moksha, and therefore that cannot be the pursuit of any being. So this is the basis of foundation to use logic. So scripture has to be supported also by the logic and also by anubhava experience, that we go into more detailed analysis of our experience in the waking state and the dream state and the deep sleep state. Anubhava is not talking about individual experience, a general experience that scripture talks about, and everybody has to experience that one. The common experience being analyzed to establish the truth also. So the shastram and then the yukti means logic, and then anubhava. All three have to come in to support what exactly is the fundamental truth. So what we have established so far, I am ignorant, number one. Ignorant of what? Ignorant of my true nature. And what is my true nature? I am infinite by myself, because Sat, Chit, Ananda. Ananda is infinite, that is Brahman. And I will not be happy unless I become limitless. So experientially that I am trying to become infinite, but I am trying to become infinite by a process which cannot be valid, because I can never become infinite by that any process. So I have to recognize that I am already infinite. So ignorance of myself is the fundamental cause, and that's what some religions call it as the Mula Avidya, the fundamental ignorance. And all other ignorance of I don't know chemistry, I don't know biology, I don't know this, all are secondary ignorances. But I don't know myself is this, not knowing the subject properly. All objective knowledge is only objective, because fundamentally I need a subject before I can analyze the object. That's why Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi says, analyze the analyst first, validity of the enquirer. First inquire before you inquire everything else. Therefore, what I need to know is who I am and how do I get rid of the self-ignorance. Because of the self-ignorance, I am taking myself what I am not, and therefore I take myself, I am the body, I am the intellect, I am the mind, and therefore I am trying to solve the limitations of my body, mind and intellect by acquiring, aggrandizing and so on and so forth. So all crying in the world, suffering in the world is because I am taking myself what I am not as I am. That becomes a fundamental. Now, a self-realized person therefore cannot suffer. Why? He knows Aham Brahmasmi, I am the source of happiness itself. But I see his suffering, his body is having problems. Body will have a problem, but he will not have a problem. Because body, he is not the body, he is including everything. So these are a little bit clear in terms of what involves self-realization. Self-realization is recognition that I am not this, but I am Satchidananda, pure existent consciousness which is limitless. Now we can ask all sorts of questions. So how am I going to realize myself? Is there a process there again? What should I do? And you say, I am ignorant. Who is that I am that is ignorant? You say I am Satchidananda, which is infinite. And infinite, there cannot be any divisions. How can infinite can be ignorant? You say I am ignorant, you say individual, because who doesn't know that I am Brahman is ignorant. Since I am really Brahman and you say I am ignorant, that means Brahman is ignorant. And people fight with this statement because how can Brahman be ignorant? And Bhagavan Ramanuja says Brahman is nothing but Ishvara, and you are saying Ishvara is ignorant. How ignorant are you? Because he is the knowledge, source of very knowledge itself. All knowledge rests with him. How can he be ignorant? So therefore, ignorance cannot be with Brahman. So Jiva is different from Brahman, since you say you are ignorant. All these interpretations come into picture. But we need to understand that who is ignorant here? That's what the first question is. Who is ignorant? That's a talk series. You say, I am ignorant. But who is that I am? Oh, I am Brahmasmi. I am Brahman. So that means you are Brahman and Brahman is ignorant. We say, Brahman is not ignorant. You are ignorant. When you realize the Brahman, then you also realize that I was never ignorant also. Very, very funny statement. As long as I take myself, I am this, I have ignorance. But when I understood that I am Brahmasmi, then you realize that I was not really ignorant also. I am pure Brahman. Ignorance is also only at the transactional level, like a drama playing. A fellow does not know that he is a king because he was a king in the previous scene and he became a pauper and he lost kingdom, and this is actually for a prince, the king and the prince, or the prince and the pauper story, where he is born as a prince for a king and somebody kidnapped him and brought him as a beggar, and even though he is a prince, he doesn't know that he is a prince and he is acting like a beggar. So for him now, who has the ignorance of that he doesn't know prince? The fellow who doesn't know that he is a prince has ignorance. But is he really a beggar? He is a prince even though he is a beggar. This is a statement. I am a Brahman even though I am ignorantly taking myself, I am finite. So I am infinite even though I am taking myself as a finite. So in the drama of life, even the Jnani, Ajnani, all are in the level of transactional reality. Only from the absolute point, it is pure Brahman without any divisions of Jnanam and Ajnanam. So who is ignorant? Brahman is not really ignorant. Who is ignorant? One who thinks I am a Jiva is ignorant. And when he realized that Aham Brahmasmi. And then also he realized that ignorance is also a part of this drama also play. If I don't know it is a drama, then I suffer. If I know it is a drama, then I enjoy. We'll go into more details about this ignorance problem and the solution to the ignorance and how to solve. That means how I realize, how to self-realize. We'll analyze slowly. With this we stop here. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.